Like,
are we on now?
Now we're on.
Are we on? we just did the first.
We did like a couple of minutes, so let's start this again, just as if it didn't happen. That was just that we were just practicing.
It's a rehearsal,
right? Exactly.
Rehearsal.
Exactly.
So here's Mr. Cioffi,
Fios One News,
New Jersey and Long Island,
and here is Mr. Rao, Fios One News, Lower Hudson Valley. And we are the Joe and Joe Weather Show.
On a Friday.
June 22nd.
June 22nd, the first full day of summer. Summer officially came in, astronomically speaking, yesterday.
Right. And whether you... Because now I can start the rant that I did.
Right. Start it up again.
Start again. Whether, this is the first day of summer. Would you believe that I saw a ridiculous clickbait story already? I'm not going to mention where it is. But about the fact that the upcoming winter is going to be brutal. Already. We are not even at the peak of average summer temperatures, which doesn't happen until the last week of July, first week of August.
Right.
We're not even there yet. Okay,
and already
we're not even through hurricane season yet. We're not even into the peak of hurricane season yet, and we're seeing these ridiculous clickbait stories. Well, one story anyway, about the upcoming winter. And stop it. Enough. And nobody, well, I better not even say this part because somebody's going to be a Weisenheimer and never mind. Really, it's just, come on. We're at the end of June. We haven't really even strung together 2 or 3 90-degree days yet.
Right, and already we're talking about the potential for frigidity and for more nor'easters and wind and destruction in the wintertime.
Right. Nice. So, I want to ask you this question.
How come no one says anything about the summer? In the middle of February, how come they don't say something like it's going to be a brutally hot summer?
Well, there are a few. Everybody's always like 6 months ahead of life.
Right.
And meanwhile, half the year is already flown by.
Exactly.
So I want to ask you one question that I have been getting for the last several days by a number of people regarding the fact that Saturday is a big day because it's the last Saturday in June. A lot of high school graduations are taking place, and then of course there's the graduation party, to which you and I have not been invited to any of. So I want you to tell all the folks at home exactly what time that we will be getting showers, because you might have a 9 a.m. graduation, a 10 a.m. graduation, an 11 a.m. graduation, followed by a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 p.m. graduation party. Right. So I want you to tell every single one of those people exactly what the weather is going to be like.
I'll go as far as this. I think when many people wake up tomorrow morning and they look out the window, it will have either have been raining or will be in the process of starting to rain, and it's not going to be heavy rain. It's not going to be one of these heavy duty rain showers. It's going to be light rain and or mist and or drizzle and fog, and I actually think that it's going to be intermittent. In other words, it's not going to be you look out at 8 o'clock in the morning and it's not going to be that way all through the entire day. There'll be times
or all through the entire area, by the way, which
there'll be some periods when it will let up a little bit. But generally, it's going to be just overcast. That easterly airflow is going to keep temperatures. The only places that I think are going to go above 70 tomorrow will be urban locations, big cities and towns. Most everybody else, I think, will be struggling just to make it over 70 degrees tomorrow.
Right.
Considering it's the first Saturday of summertime, for goodness sake.
Now, I want to just add to that because... Well, two things. First off, you can see the regional radar over there to the left. So right there. Yeah. So right away, you don't have this sort of widespread area of showers or rain. You've got bands, and in between bands, you've got nothing.
Right.
So this is the problem in trying to forecast this: is that where are you with respect to those bands? The other thing is that the radar at the moment doesn't exactly match some of the short-range weather models in terms of what they're showing with regards to the shower activity itself. So you've got one model that wants to have a big band of heavy downpours here tomorrow morning, say in at 5 a.m. and done by 9 a.m., and then you've got others that have much less, and then maybe some more later in the day, but one model has it, one doesn't. I think the best approach through all of this is that there's a risk wherever you are tomorrow that there could be a shower anywhere at any time. Will it be doing it all the time? No. Will there be periods where it will just be kind of gloomy and cloudy and, like you said, maybe a little spotty light rain or drizzle? Yeah. And that's probably the best that I can do, or any of us can do at this point.
It's like the, you know, the legend of the sword of Damocles? The hanging sword,
yes.
So it'll go always above your head, and it could drop on any moment, and like that. That's how it's going to be tomorrow in terms of rainfall.
Yes, and especially in terms of a rusty blade.
And once we get the warm front closer into us, either late tomorrow or during tomorrow evening, watch out for the potential of thunderstorms lighting up.
Right. And by the way, that also brings up another thing, Joe. That warm front, if I know a lot of folks like to go to coastal, the Jersey Shore and go, especially for South Jersey. That warm front may get through South Jersey tomorrow morning and get to about 195 at some point and come to a screeching halt for a little while. So if you're going to South Jersey, you may very well see temperatures that get into the 80s with some breaks of sun, and there is a marginal risk of severe weather for Central and South Jersey, south and westward, as per the Storm Prediction Center.
Right. And what you just described in South Jersey for tomorrow likely will be the case for much of our viewing area, Long Island, Lower Hudson Valley, northern New Jersey, on Sunday, because by Sunday we will be in that muggy, humid airflow. We most definitely will say with absolute certainty and surety that when we get to Sunday, temperatures will likely be at least 10 or even 12 degrees warmer than what many areas are going to see tomorrow, and that combined with the high dew point temperatures will make it a more uncomfortable day to be out and about. But there may also be some pokes of hazy sun, and unlike tomorrow where, as you just mentioned, the rain may be hitting us right from the get-go in the morning, if we do get that area, possibly brief heavy rain in the morning. Unlike that, on Sunday, we may have to wait until sometime later in the day or toward evening to get showery.
So
the
bulk of Sunday probably will be okay from that standpoint. I mean, look at the HRRR. Even the HRRR does not match the radar that we just showed you with some of the showers that are in parts. Nothing, like I said, nothing especially heavy. But here it is tomorrow morning.
Looks like
at 6 a.m. Long Island, a little bit in North Jersey, northeastern PA. The rest of Jersey, not much. Then at around 8 or 9 a.m., Long Island is quiet, and then you've got some showers in North Jersey and into the Hudson Valley. And this is as far as it goes, which is 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. But I can't guarantee that this is going to look like this. If we go to the NAM from earlier, a bit of a different scenario on the NAM.
We're going to start moving. This is what, 18Z or 12Z?
This was the 18Z.
18Z, okay.
Okay, so here's the NAM, which, by the way, this is what the NAM says our radar is supposed to look like right now. So everything that's, whatever's showing up on the radar that's overhead, the NAM doesn't even see. So right there, that leads you to be suspect. And then it lifts up this band overnight through all of New Jersey into Long Island. And now we are at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, where we still got showers over a fair amount of the area, already different than the HRRR. Right. Then a break. And then tomorrow evening, it's got this sort of east-west band of downpours for an hour or two. And then that's gone. And then, as you said, maybe late in the afternoon on Sunday into Sunday evening, we get into some showers and thunderstorms.
Right.
And Sunday, we're going to be in the 80s.
There's no question. If you're looking for some kind of outdoor activity, like my wife looking toward me for mowing the lawn this weekend, somehow or other,
or cutting the grass with a pair of scissors. Come on, bless her heart.
It may happen maybe about the midday hour or early afternoon on Sunday. For many, if you have anything out of doors planned, that may be the time frame to work around, because again, and you think about it, even if we don't get any precipitation or much precipitation tomorrow, I mean, what fun is it to be outside under a cloud-filled sky with temperatures on the first Saturday of summer hovering within a few degrees of 70, where it should be at 80 to 85.
Yeah, that's not fun at all. Okay, so here's, in fact, hang on, let me get a little wider. we'll get to the GFS here. We'll go a little wider so we can look ahead to next week. I didn't see anything change today, Joe, as far as the longer range outlook with how things are going to play out next week. Once that front comes through on Sunday, got this nice dry high that builds in through Wednesday, and then Wednesday night into Thursday morning, it looks like a warm front goes by with a low to the north, and it's after that it starts to turn very warm to hot and humid for the very end of next week and into next weekend.
Right. And in fact, it's interesting. The Climate Prediction Center, NOAA's Climate Prediction Center, is indicating, and I posted this on my Facebook page, that the first week of July, the probability of above normal or warmer than normal temperatures is something on the order of 75%, which is pretty high. They don't usually go very high on the 8 to 14 day outlook, but they think they're very confident that we're going to see maybe, I won't say a prolonged period of hot or very warm weather, but certainly it seems to suggest that once we get into July, July is not going to be what we'll be looking at tomorrow with the unseasonably cool temperatures.
And basically what's happening is the pattern over the North Atlantic and over North America is changing. This last arm that's swinging around this shortwave trough off the New England coast on Monday, so we get that quick shot of dry air, low humidity, and nice weather for the first part of next week. Once that pulls out, it's going to allow this big ridge to build in the east. That's still on schedule, and we might have a hot couple of days here, next weekend into the first week of July.
Right.
After that, some questions develop as to whether eventually something will, whether something else comes around in the flow out of Canada to maybe drop a cold front through, but that may not happen until around the 4th of July or so. And then the model seems to want to drop a trough into the east. I don't know how real that is, but I would say at least once it turns very warm to hot late next week, it could go on for 4 or 5 days before we get any kind of a break.
Yeah, and interestingly also, again, going back to the Climate Prediction Center, their experimental 3 to 4 week forecast came out today for, believe it or not, the middle and latter part of July, and they are indicating actually equal chances of either very warm or rather coolish temperatures in this part of the country. And I found that rather surprising because on the 8 to 14 day, or the forecast going out for the next 2 weeks, practically the entire country, save for the Pacific Northwest and the Northern Rockies, is above normal.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, that all goes away for the middle and latter part of July, and we have a few areas, smaller areas of above normal temperatures, but most of the United States supposedly will have near normal temperatures, if you want to believe this long-range outlook.
Nancy Mangle's Pluto will be in Sag Harbor on the water at a cousin's reunion. Bring a jacket.
Yes.
Okay, because it's probably going to be in the low to mid-60s there for a good part of the day, whether it winds up raining or not. And it probably will, or at least if it's not, there'll be some drizzle and fog. Yvette Murray is sitting on Citi Field and it's raining. Should I leave and wait till the end of the game? By the way, the Mets are losing.
What are you telling him? Have they scored a run? I haven't even looked at the score yet. I mean, if they put some... the funny thing about the Mets is they went through a period where they were getting magnificent pitching, but they weren't supporting the pitching by getting any runs on the scoreboard, and they were losing that way. And then this past week, they were scoring runs by the bushel-full, but the pitching was giving up more than their fair share of runs, and they were losing that way. I don't understand that.
Don Nelson will got Riverhead Raceway get the racing off Saturday night. Don, I don't know what their criteria is for canceling races there, so I really can't answer the question other than to say that there probably will be some showers around, or at least the risk is there for some showers. But like I said, I don't know what their criteria is for calling a race off.
Is Yonkers? Is that like Yonkers Raceway, Riverhead, with the
yes.
carriage? With the carriage?
No! No, it's a
regular race.
It's a car track.
Oh, car track.
Racing cars.
I'm sorry.
Who was it? Corey Bodziak? Howie, my fishing buddy, Howie Dwyer is on. He caught a nice big bass this morning, and he was. I'm not going to say where, but even got a couple of bluegill, and I think Howie, you said you caught a trout. We have to have a conversation, you and I. Let's see.
I saw Angry Ben making a comment about a snowman.
Yeah, he wants to know what size snowman will he be able to make on January 15th at 1 p.m.
What's 1 p.m.?
Angry. I love Angry Ben almost as much as I love my laundry. He's my friendly neighborhood wise ass.
Okay.
But he's cool. We have a Cioffi on board, not related. Robert Guido Cioffi.
Okay.
Okay. So we always acknowledge any Cioffis or Rayos immediately.
Are we frozen there?
No.
That's all right.
No, we're not frozen in real life.
All right.
Let's see. Patrick John says he's got to cut his grass before he leaves Sunday for vacation. Better you than me.
Yeah.
I don't cut grass anymore.
I understand.
Corey Bodziak, 63 and rain in South Jersey with a sweatshirt on. I know. It does feel wrong, but anytime you have a warm front to your south with a high to the north, especially this time of year, it is so problematic, both from a practical standpoint and definitely from a forecast standpoint. Let's see. Bob Wilson is going to be in upstate New York for a birthday. Eventually you're going to get some of those showers going on into upstate New York. It might take a little time. I don't know how far upstate you're going. Denny Namkumar is on to remind you that the Yankees are doing good this season as they're still in first in the standings, and his friend is at the Mets game as well.
Okay. Whatever.
Just a little touchy subject. You can tell by the deafening silence. Okay, I know some of you know what I was talking about with regards to that so-called article. We're just going to leave it there and not discuss it any further. Okay, so we got the weekend coming up, and you and I are going to have one. So, any final thoughts?
It's unfortunate that when you look at the forecast, you put a 7-day forecast out like I did and you did, and you have Saturday and Sunday with some mention of showers and humidity and unseasonably cool temperature. And as soon as the weekend is over, this beautiful little dome of high pressure builds in, and Monday and Tuesday and probably even Wednesday, most of Wednesday, look like 3 delightful days. And what are you going to do about that?
So if you've got graduations going on in midweek, I did happen to see someone ask about that. If you've got graduations going on through at least the dayside Wednesday, you should be perfectly fine and not have to deal with any kind of heat and humidity. The next round of showers will probably be Wednesday night as we transition over to the hot, humid air. Rocco Fridella is inviting us to his graduation party tomorrow.
Oh.
He lives right near me.
Okay. Well,
so
get a hamburger.
Let me just say really quick, because we're going to have to wrap it up. Happy anniversary to you, 40 years in this business.
Yes.
And they said you wouldn't last 39.
Well, you know as well as I, we've known a number of people who, you get burned out after 20 or 30 years.
Oh, I know. I went through a little bit of a burnout phase, and I get that. I'm 1 year behind you, because for me it's next August.
Okay. Will
be 40 for me. So, and it's, let's see, this is 86 to 7, so it'll be 32 years, and so it's not a round number for. I'm sorry, 96. Yeah, 32 years in.
Television?
In this neck of the woods.
Oh, in this neck of the woods.
Yeah, no, television is actually, for me.
Well, that was your primary thing, really.
Right. It was, right. On air for me is 82, so that would be 40 years will be in 2022, which I hope by then I am. I hope I don't get there, and in a sense that, retiring is a nice idea.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes.
January, actually, of 1979, CBS News Radio suddenly finding themselves without a meteorologist.
That was, I think, my one and only time on 88.
And there you were on the phone, on a phone line.
Yeah, because I was working at the Weather Service at the time. Yeah, that I think was my. I don't know if I did it once. Maybe I did it a couple of times, but that may have been my one and only adventure on. Set your time to WCBS. 4 tones will follow. The fourth and loudest one marks the exact time.
And I told her, as far as I'm concerned, my mother would say, "You stepped in it, Joe." I don't know if I would be here if it weren't for a crumpled up piece of loose leaf paper, a friend of mine was packing to go to Florida. He was going for his master's degree. Lived in the Bronx along with me. I was helping him clean out his room, and he came across an old piece of paper with a name and a phone number, and he said, "Oh, you know," and the gentleman's name is Todd Gross. Many of you don't know the name, but if you've ever seen the movie Perfect Storm, the TV Boston meteorologist,
right? Well, was Todd
was
worked
Todd
a number
Gross.
of years in Boston, yes.
Right, and Todd at that time had just graduated from college. He had just started his own startup weather company, and he said, "You know, Todd," I didn't know who Todd was, but he was a friend of my friend's. So he said, "You ought to call this guy." So I called him that night, and he said, "Somebody just quit." His startup weather company. Somebody just quit. He said, I have an opening here. Would you be interested?" I came down the next day and stayed for 17 years. And that's amazing. You know, you think about if I didn't bother to make the phone call, or if my friend
you didn't even pick up the piece of paper,
or if the friend just took the piece of paper and tossed it in the circular file.
Well,
where would it be?
You know what? My story is similar. I happened to pick up a phone that I'm not going to tell the whole story, but I happened to pick up a phone when I was working at the Weather Service that was on hold. My mistake. And, I started talking to the person on the other side, and then before the conversation was over, I had a new job. So it was in my first job in television, off air, but it was still my first job in TV. And, if supposing I hadn't walked by that desk and picked up that phone,
right.
There's a whole...
Abe Zwicker would have said, "What are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that."
Right, exactly. Abe liked me. He really liked me.
All right.
But, all through, there's always these kind of connected chains that happen.
Right.
And you just... you don't know. Doors open up in the strangest places.
Lefty Gomez, who's a Hall of Fame pitcher for the New York Yankees, all of you Yankee fans know who Lefty Gomez. He said, "I'd rather be lucky than good." And I think, I don't know, maybe the same with you, but with me, it just happened to be. I think I'm a lot luckier than I am good, and I just happen to be in the right place at the right time. And this is why all the nice things that have happened to me in my lifetime have all happened by accident.
Right.
And
I'll admit that you're
reasonably
somewhat
good. Whatever.
in a I don't know.
And it took 40 years for us to get together finally
in a
in
Jack
the same
Benny
place.
sort of way.
Yes.
Look, they're all Bob Wilson is he's putting up YouTube clips of me going back.
Okay.
Bonnie Buckley is on. Say hi to Terrence Buckley for me. Suzanne DeAngelis, happy anniversary. Got a few folks wishing you a happy anniversary. So
Bob Wilson, Joe clip.
I'm guessing it's me. It must be maybe the blizzard of '96. If next week's heat and humidity stretch, when it starts late next week, if it winds up going more than 5 days, I'll put up the blizzard of '96 clip. From the old days where I did like a 5-minute weather cast, which at the time was unheard of. You
worked like a whirling dervish during that storm. I was watching you.
Oh my!
And meantime, your partner at that time.
Do not go down that road. Don't.
The first thing he did.
Let it go.
He went to the food table.
Let it go. Just let it go. Those were the 36 longest hours of my professional life.
I understand.
I actually, I left the house on that Sunday morning just as the first flake fell, and I didn't get home until Monday night to watch the last flake fall and see 2.5 feet of snow in my unplowed driveway, and having to plow it.
This is the blizzard of '96.
The blizzard of '96.
And I was at a supermarket. In fact, it doesn't exist anymore. The A&P,
places where they sell tea and coffee.
Yeah, and I now know, based upon that experience, what it's going to be like when a nuclear holocaust is suddenly, put out over the airwaves. You wouldn't believe it was like a madhouse in that supermarket just hours before the storm started.
Well, it also came. That was part of a 3-decade stretch where. snowstorms were really few and far between
Right.
of that magnitude. So that was really the first widespread, big storm, I think probably since the 83 blizzard.
Right.
So, that's 13 years. That's a lot of time.
Long time.
Now, since the year 2000, we get these 20 and 30-inch snowstorms
Every year.
just about every winter. So, it's old hat for us. Anyway, we got to go because I got to hit Fios 1 News New Jersey and Fios 1 News Long Island at the top of the hour.
And the top of the hour for me, Fios 1 Lower Hudson Valley.
Hudson Valley, yes.
Lower Hudson Valley.
So everybody have a great weekend. I'll be YouTubing it along the way, so you can either go on my YouTube channel or just wait for the YouTube post on Facebook. Otherwise, Joe and I will see you on Monday and on the Joe and Joe show.
We got to get a theme song for this.
I've got a few ideas, but
either that or we get a couple of kazoos and just.
Here, so stick your head out this way. You go that, yeah.
That way.
Have a great weekend.
Au reservoir to all.